Welcome to Storytime with Dad. Today, we'll be reading Wings Over Willowbrook. Once upon a time, in the sunny town of Willowbrook, there lived a young elephant named Ellie. Ellie was big, cheerful, and had ears that flapped like giant fans when she ran. She loved helping people carry groceries, water flowers with her trunk, and give the best high fives or really high trunks. But Ellie had one dream that seemed, impossible. She wanted to drive a car. "Ellie, elephants don't drive cars," the town folks chuckled kindly. But Ellie would just smile and say, "Maybe not yet." One bright morning, Ellie squeezed herself into a car built especially for her, an enormous bright yellow convertible with jumbo-sized seats, pedals as big as dinner plates, and a steering wheel made from an old merry-go-round. At first, things didn't go smoothly. Honk! She pressed the horn by accident. Screech! She braked too hard and nearly flipped her trunk over the wheel. Vroom! She forgot which pedal was which and zoomed backwards into a haystack. Everyone laughed good-naturedly, but Ellie kept trying, and with every attempt, she got a little better. Now, not far from town, in a quiet meadow, lived a unicorn named Lulu. Lulu had a silver mane that shimmered like moonlight and a horn that sparkled like morning dew. But Lulu was terribly lonely. She had moved to Willowbrook, hoping to find friends, but she was shy. She worried that if people saw her, they might think she was strange, so she kept herself hidden. One afternoon, while Ellie was practicing, her big yellow car rolled a little too far down the road and right into Lulu's meadow. Ellie gasped. "Whoa, a unicorn!" Lulu shuffled her hooves nervously. Hi. Please don't tell anyone." "Tell anyone? Are you kidding? You're amazing," Ellie grinned. "I'm Ellie. Want to go for a ride?" Lulu hesitated, but Ellie's wide, friendly smile was impossible to resist. She climbed into the car, and zoom! Off they went. The two laughed and laughed as they cruised through the countryside. Lulu's mane fluttered in the breeze, while Ellie carefully steered. Ellie showed Lulu the bakery that smelled like cinnamon buns, the playground with the squeaky swings, and the fountain in the square where ducks liked to paddle. For the first time, Lulu felt like she belonged. But one summer afternoon, trouble struck. Dark clouds rolled over Willowbrook, and rain poured down in sheets. The river swelled, then spilled over its banks. Water rushed through the streets, filling basements, floating away barrels and boxes, and turning the town square into a lake. "Oh no!" cried Ellie. "If the water keeps rising, the whole town will be underwater." The townsfolk scrambled to higher ground and waved frantically. Ellie stomped her big feet in determination. "We have to do something, Lulu!" Lulu's horn began to glow, faint at first, then brighter and brighter. "Ellie," she said softly, "what if your car could fly?" Ellie blinked. "Fly? Cars don't fly." "They do if we believe they can," Lulu said with a smile. She touched her horn gently to the hood of the yellow convertible. With a shimmer and a pop, wings sprouted from the sides. Enormous, feathery wings, strong enough to lift an elephant. Ellie gripped the steering wheel. "Well, here goes nothing." With a mighty flap, the car rose up into the air, Ellie's ears flapping wildly, Lulu laughing with delight. The people below gasped and cheered. The flying car soared over the rooftops, gliding above the floodwaters. But flying alone wouldn't solve the problem. The water kept rising. Lulu leaned close. "We need to drain the water out of the town. Let's guide it back to the river." Ellie nodded. She steered the flying car low over the square where the water was deepest. Lulu's horn glowed once more, and with a sweep of light, a swirling whirlpool opened right in the middle of the flooded square. The water rushed towards it like a giant bathtub drain, gurgling and splashing as it spun down a glowing channel Lulu had carved, leading straight back to the river. Ellie circled overhead, using the wind from the car's giant wings to push the water along. Wave after wave followed the whirlpool until the streets were clear again. The fountain bubbled cheerfully, and the ducks paddled in their proper place. At last, the waters receded. The whirlpool closed with a sparkle, leaving the town clean and dry. Ellie landed the car gently in the square. Everyone cheered, rushing forward to hug their heroes. 3 cheers for Ellie the Elephant, who learned to drive and saved us all. And 3 cheers for Lulu the Unicorn, whose magic showed us what was possible. From that day on, Ellie and Lulu were the pride of Willowbrook. Ellie kept practicing until she was the smoothest driver in town, though she still honked the horn a little too often. And Lulu no longer hid in her meadow. She was right in the heart of town, leading parades, painting rainbows in the sky, and laughing with her new friends. Together, Ellie and Lulu proved that even the most unlikely dream, a driving elephant, a shy unicorn, and a flying car, could change a whole town for the better. And whenever Willowbrook looked up and saw a yellow car with giant wings soaring across the sky, they smiled, knowing their 2 best friends were always looking out for them. The end. Wow, I totally didn't see that coming. Using unicorn magic to make a car fly? That's crazy. But, boy, I sure am happy that the town of Willowbrook was saved, aren't you? I hope Ellie and Lulu have a wonderful friendship together for a very long time. And you may be hearing my voice right now, but I didn't make this story on my own. I want to give a huge thanks to my listeners, Theo and Amelia. I'm so happy to have you and many other kids listening, but this story was based on your wonderful story ideas. All of you listeners are so creative, and I love hearing what new ideas you have in mind next. So thanks for this great idea, Theo and Amelia, and I do have lots more stories that I'll be recording and publishing too. One of my favorite things about this story is basically just not to give up. Think about it. Lulu had unicorn magic and was able to make the car fly. At that point, they could have just thanked their good fortune and flown away from the disaster. Instead, they decided to stay and help the townspeople. Just an elephant and a unicorn, because they didn't give up and weren't selfish, they stayed and were able to help everyone else in the town. I'm glad these 2 thought of others and how they could help. Without them, the town would have literally washed away. Sometimes we find ourselves in these positions too. Maybe not saving a town, but it is easy to watch out for ourselves and tell everyone else they're on their own. But, that's really not the best thing for the world. Sometimes we need a little help, but sometimes we're the ones who get to help someone else. Showing love, sharing, and helping each other is what makes this world a great place to live in. So, live in a way that makes the world better and help the people nearest to you. It doesn't have to be a big show, just do something small and kind if that's all you can do. You'll still be making this world a beautiful world to live in. What kind of deeds have you done recently? Email me. Tell me at hello@storytimewithdad.com. I want to hear from you. Whether that's how these stories are impacting you or if you have story ideas of your very own, I'm here and I love every single message that I get from you all. So, take care, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.